This is the High School Crossfire. Welcome back.
Do you believe in diversification?
Yes.
Thank you. Is Uganda running a deficit budget?
Yeah.
Good. Are agricultural products processed in industries?
Yes.
Are you going to introduce more industries?
Yeah.
Okay, good. What more investments will you put across with processing products?
Pardon?
What more investments, as you have been talking here, will you put across with processing products?
We clearly showed you we are going to invest. What do you mean more investment?
Oh, okay. Are exports a culprit to price fluctuation?
Yeah.
Okay, you can have your seat.
Thank you.
Result panel. This house will strictly export finished agricultural products to increase GDP. Our dear judges, Team Affirmative, come here telling us that Uganda relies on agriculture and gave statistics well and good of 24.1% contribution to GDP. Where is the 63%? Because they have failed to tell us where the 63% is, meaning agriculture really, even though they bring more as much as processing, this thing will not bring the GDP to 100%. Our dear judges, we asked them if Uganda is running a deficit budget. They clearly answered yes. Now, where will Uganda really get the money to run or set up industries, yet to have no money in only 2 years? Do you know how much an industry costs to set up? Our dear judges, we asked them, are exports a culprit to price fluctuation? They answered yes. Now, what is the market guarantee of the exported products that they are telling us that they are going to put in place? We have been asking this question right now from my second speaker. They have not been able to give an answer, meaning they don't have a market guarantee. Our dear judges, they said that we now don't need service sectors, yet they are the most contributing sectors in the Uganda's economy today by over 50.3%. That was according to their second speaker. Now, our dear judges, really, why don't we need to diversify? Because they are even believing in diversification. Our dear judges, we have asked them, they talked about introducing industries. We expected them to give us the measures they're going to put across because this thing is industrialization is a culprit of pollution. We expected them to give us that. Of course, they never gave us, meaning they want to come and destroy more our environment. Our dear judges, they have not given us that strategy. For that matter, our dear judges, we believe that diversification will be able to help us due to the reasons that we have been able to give. So for that matter, our dear judges, we believe that really our case still stands that instead of exporting only finished products, let us export both and also diversify the economy as far as agriculture and other sectors like services are concerned. For that matter, therefore, our dear judges, allow me to rest my case.
Will exporting different manufactured goods affect the diversification of Uganda's economy?
As long as they're from different sectors, they will be able to increase our GDP.
Did you understand the term GDP?
Please.
Okay.
Very well.
Are you advocating for diversification?
You have said it.
Do you realize that in our case we are advocating for more diversification?
Pardon?
Do you realize that in our case we are advocating for more diversification?
None of you has said that. Thank you.
Okay, we don't have to say it for you to realize it. I thought it'd be wise enough for you to realize that you're actually advocating for more diversification. First of all, first speaker, did you understand the resolution today?
Yes.
So the resolution says this house will strictly export finished agricultural products to increase GDP. Do you realize that the motion today is basically talking about agricultural products increasing GDP?
Please, according to your case, that is what you're supposed to.
Then why do you come in bringing in tourism and other sectors?
Of course, the problem in the resolution is decreasing GDP. That's why we are coming in to solve the low GDP of Uganda.
Exactly. Then you didn't understand the resolution. We are talking about agricultural products increasing the GDP. Strictly finished.
No, thank you. Please quote me.
I'm the one asking questions. I'm the one asking questions.
There's no need.
I am the one
lies in this August house. Thank you.
Okay.
You're done?
No. Okay. Do you know the backbone of Uganda's economy?
Hey, of course.
What is that? What is that?
Agriculture being the backbone.
Enough. Thank you.
It is able to provide everything for the economy.
Okay, for speaker, you decide to be stubborn. Do you know the percentage of people working, of the population of people working or employed in the agriculture sector?
Yes.
What percentage is that?
Averagely, The average population, including those in rural areas, the peasant farmers.
Just
all of
tell
them
me
are
the
employed.
population.
Pardon?
The population. The percentage.
The percentage.
Mhm.
Of course, I've told you average.
You have not told me. I want the percentage.
Okay, over 75%.
Okay. Thank you so much. Over 75%. Meaning,
Including the peasant farmers.
I just want the percent.
Hey, okay.
You can
I'll
go
say
sit down.
Thank you so much.
Welcome. So they tell that he clearly shows that over 75% of the people of the percentage is employed in population, and then they come and advocate for other sectors. Meaning other sectors have how many? 30%. The remaining percent is unemployed in the other sectors, and they want us to rely on the other sectors. Yet you are advocating for more diversification. You are advocating for more employment and opportunities for our people. Basically, they don't know what they're talking about. So I try to bring to why I ask them questions of why they understand the resolution. We are basically talking about strictly exporting finished agricultural products to increase GDP. They come in with alternatives of what? Of exporting both. Yes, thank you so much, team negators. You suggest that instead of strictly focusing on finished products, let us export for both. But we came and showed you that currently Uganda was doing that. Uganda was exporting both finished and unfinished products. And what were we gaining? It was contributing 24% to the GDP and 33% to the export earnings. How about if we focus more on the finished products, which are bringing in money? My previous speakers come and show you the money that we have been losing on the unfinished products, the raw materials. Basically, we have been exporting raw materials. They come and they show you that money. They show that actually we have been losing out on a lot of money. Now, if we instead losing out on $7, which have been charged on coffee, been selling a kilogram of coffee at $7, and the people that buy it at $25. At the end of the day, we are losing out on $20. We are making a very big what? A very big loss. So we're trying to show you that actually, if we focus on these finished products, we're going to be bringing in more money, more diversification. And we are talking about the agricultural products increasing the GDP. At the end of the day, the agriculture sector will be increasing to the GDP.
The resolution tonight was this House will strictly export finished agricultural products to increase GDP. Now, Team Affirmative, the burden of definition of the resolution is on you. It is for this purpose that I wanted to sympathize with Team Affirmative, but then I remembered what your mandate is. Failure to define the extent to which strictly applies in your resolution is something that was very fundamental and detrimental to your case. Because how strictly do you want to say that all exported finished products in the agriculture sector should be in this kind of way? Are you saying a total disregard of primary products? Are you saying for all products that are maybe coffee-based, such that we establish agro-based industries in the cash crop sector? Or you're saying all food products then? Because agricultural products are so many. How then do you address some examples like, how are you going to address agricultural products that in and of themselves are sold as primary products? Are you going to stop the exportation of bananas? How do finished processed bananas look like? Failure to define the word strictly in your resolution gave Team Negative a very strong point to begin on. I will appreciate you on the research. I mean, the GDP figures do not lie for themselves. You went and substantiated how crucial the agriculture sector is. In fact, you went as far as establishing why we need to make sure we export finished agricultural products. However, you vastly underperformed on the how part. How are we going to make sure that these products are the way we need them to be?
To begin with, ladies and gentlemen, today the resolution that was before us was a policy resolution. From the word go, we told you the main essence of understanding the specific type of resolution that is before is that you will be able to understand and comprehend the requirements and the demands for that resolution that is before you. Team Negative, I punish you on perspective of content that you failed, it being a policy resolution, to give us your policy, to give us your house, to give us your implementation work plan. I credit more Team Affirmative on content that they were able, at least through their statistics they gave, by virtue that they were advocating for, in their perspective, the agricultural industry. They were able to advocate or to provide the statistics on the provision or the contribution of the agricultural industry towards export earning, contribution to the GDP, and in overall the contribution of the agricultural industry towards the development of the budget of this country. Ladies and gentlemen, today's resolution, we had two teams. We had Team Affirmative that advocated for exportation of finished agricultural products, because Uganda as a country, given parameters, we have tried to export both finished and unfinished products before, but we have not been able to get a positive result as we would get when we were exporting finished products only. However, on the other side, we had a team negative that advocated for exporting both finished and unfinished products. Two, we had a team negative that advocated for diversification of the economy.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. When I feel that people can discuss about the GDP of the country and alternate all the research they have done and link them to the GDP of the economy, to me it gives me a persuasive way that we have a generation that is coming. Two, I beg to differ from my former judges in this manner and how I allocated my marks and gave my marks according to this debate. Now, I'll base this debate more of the strategy-wise, which I felt persuaded more of one team than the other because of the reasons I'm putting in place. But before that, let me correct this, that Team Affirmative, once you come with a new thing, it's better even you forget, you assume that you have forgotten it, but than bringing it into stage. I'm talking to the second speaker of the affirmative side. You don't come back to tell us what the first affirmer has forgotten to do. Already now that one shows us a clear leeway that there was a problem. Two, just as one of my judges talked about, that one kind of a definition, the way you define can change the whole topic, and you find yourself, you have drived away from the main points that we have to put in place. But I felt persuaded because of the strategy of two. One, the implementation of the investors into the country. Logically, I felt like, if the investors come in the country, since now agriculture being our backbone and having a 24% of the GDP, these investors, if they come and put more into the industries, we might at least shoot to 67 to 70%. I felt persuaded also in two, when the second farmer came and gave examples, he used a tin of coffee. I take coffee personally, and that tin of coffee goes as 12,500 shillings. A tin that cannot even make a gram, while our kilogram goes at 3,500. Now, I felt logically persuaded by that. Why down? Why should we take our unfinished good? They have the 7%, $7 paying for us, and we lose the $40 that people are going to make profits away from our country. Why can't we now just choose a way that we can have it processed from here, which already had made the fundings, you had mentioned the funders, and brought in the issue of the investment.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'll start by appreciating both teams because I feel this is a much improved debate and argument compared to both of your prior debates. Personally, I weighed this debate on two things. One, the clash points, but two, which team was able to come and actually defend their case by answering the questions raised by the opponent team. Team Affirmative, you fronted us two main arguments, which I recorded and actually credited you for because I felt they went unrebutted. First of all, you gave us the point of perishability and contamination. Team negative, you did not in any manner whatsoever say anything to cancel out that point of perishability and contamination. Secondly, much as I felt team negative, team affirmative did not build enough on the how, they were at least able to point out the issue of value addition, which they pointed out for you by giving the analogy between what a kilo of unprocessed coffee would go for and what a packet of processed coffee would go for. For those two arguments, I credited team affirmative. Now, the problem came in when, as team affirmative, you were asked questions that were really damaging to your strategy, and since you carry the burden of proof, I at least expected you to say something in response to these questions. First was the point of market guarantee. And team negative was able to point it out for you that yes, much as we want to go ahead and export only strictly processed or finished goods, how sure are you that our fully processed goods will be able to compete with the fully processed goods of other economies which are having better methods of production, better technologies, and better industries?
This was a good debate. Team affirmative, both of you actually, you all had to come up with policies that could be able to increase the GDP of Uganda as we are in a crippling economy. Now, team negative, you had no house and you had no work plan. As much as you mentioned your strategy and your argument of the things you're going to do, however, you did not have a house and you did not have a work plan. Now, you're the same people that are telling us that you're going to be able to export finished and unfinished goods at the same time. And you're telling us that you're going to be able to not diversify the agriculture sector, but diversify the economy. As who? As team negative, as students. You get that? You did not give a house or a work plan. However, team affirmative, you did not point that out. Because they came and asked you, actually, you asked team affirmative, what is your what? What is your work plan? You even told them you do not have industries. Their second speaker came up and she did something that was not her role, but she answered you. She gave you a work plan and she incorporated building industries. As much as it wasn't sufficient, she incorporated building industries in their strategy or work plan, but you did not do that. However, team affirmative, most of the things have been mentioned, and I made my grounds of judgment on that. First of all, they asked you, how will you be able to, who will fund you? Because you're speaking of building up industries in 2 years. You're speaking up of being able to export finished goods in 2 years. How are you going to get the funds? I gave team affirmative 16 for style, and I gave team negative 15 for style because of poor timekeeping. For content, I commend team affirmative. You had enough research to support your case. I gave you 22 and I gave team negative 20. For strategy is where I differed. I gave team affirmative 22 and I gave team negative 26, totaling up to 60 for team affirmative and 61 for team negative. It's a close call, and it is not a unanimous judgment. It is a ratio of 4-1 that team negative takes that day.